This is just a warning.
I think there's a happy medium that the UFC should have gone to, but they just won't. And it's like, we've invested all this time and energy to build this company into what it is, so therefore we deserve to make the profits. But it's like, yeah, but it's off the back of blood, sweat and tears from the fighters who provide the entertainment.
Right.
So, but
It's joined up.
But they would have never have. It's just lopsided in the favour of the UFC, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I think their average like salary for a new fighter is 10 to fight, 10 to win. And they offer 3 fights a year. So at best, you can earn $60,000 a year, which obviously in pounds
It's even less.
is even less. And when you think about when you're, and as I found out from, working with you guys, like you got to pay your coaches, you got to pay the management. Like, there's a huge percentage. So if you take 30% off of that, which seems to be quite common, of $60,000, and that's best case scenario.
Best case.
If you fight 3 times and you only win twice, you're coming out with 50,000. So then basically you're down to what? $35,000 a year if you're lucky, and that in the UK, what's that? 20 grand,
Then you've got
to do this,
to do that shit,
to do this,
and that's the point, isn't it? And the sad thing is like, as much as I'm giving the UFC a hard time, boxing is even harder because at least with the UFC they've got some sort of overall structure, whereas it feels like boxing's still the wild, wild west to me.
It is. It's very. Everyone can do their own thing to an extent,
How have you two finding the business of fighting, lads? Do you know what it is, right? They've both looked at each other and had a full conversation with one look. They both looked at each other and go, we don't really want to say this, do we?
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's difficult. It's difficult because it is business oriented. When you're an amateur boxer, it's a sport, purely a sport. I guess the worst thing that can happen is you get robbed, you don't get the decision. That can happen. But in terms of the logistics and how things are coordinated, it's all kind of done for you. You're there, you fight for this club, turn up to the tournament, do your best. Judges might screw you over. That's it. As a professional, there's more people involved, which inevitably you're going to have more issues. Well, yeah, you will. And the level of those issues vary.
So the struggles of a pro fighter, because there's so many people who have no idea who are watching this, lads, and I think it's great because when we're criticising people on the TV, what we need to know is even the guy who lost, who maybe didn't look so good, has gone through this. So like, you've got to struggle just to get a fight, like. And who are you relying on that for? A manager?
Manager,
promoter. Yeah.
You could have an advisor nowadays. They got people you could call your advisor, but pretty much like a promoter, manager type role.
And then they take a percentage for getting the fight, generally speaking. Yeah.
They're taking a percentage of your wage, but you've got to pay your expensive travel for various nutrition, physiotherapy, yet that doesn't affect them. Like, we're needing that treatment. We're going to take it out of our cut.
Okay.
Their cut's their own. And I know it's realistically the manager and promoter don't have to do a great deal, really. The promoter's already putting on shows for various fighters. Anyway. The managers, he's got to work, but it's not a day in, day out type of thing. I mean, boxers have got to train all year round. So
it's a phone call to get the fight sorted out. Okay, he's going to take on him, and he's taking a percentage for that. But you guys are kicking arse day in, day out and getting your arse kicked in the gym.
That's it.
And coaching is the same. But is it hard to find good coaching and stuff like that?
I think so. I think it's hard to find
for an average kid in the UK.
I think you can find good. There's a lot of good level coaches out there. But it just doesn't mean they're going to be good for you.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part, is finding the coach that's actually good for you, not the person who has all the credentials.
Financially, you can't trust everyone. So you're constantly having to worry about, like, does this person have my best interest at heart? Does that person? And you got to worry about getting in the ring and getting fucking knocked out as well as all of this shit.
I think, like you were saying, from going from the amateur to professional, as an amateur, you kind of know that people have got your best interest because it's like it's a sport. It's a sport first and foremost. Whereas when you go into the professional game, it's a business. That's the difference. So there's a lot of guys in it. Obviously, there's always guys who have got the right intentions, but it is a business, and people are there to make money generally within it. So the guys, your manager, your promoter, they're all there not just for you, they're there for themselves as well. So that's the difference.
You know, on a regular boxing card that we'll see in a local club in the UK or whatever, like professional card though, you know, like what Sky had put on or BT might put on, what would be like a low-level fighter pay in one of those cards? You know, like early on.
It could be 500 quid, like, honestly, it could be.
I've fought for nothing a number of times early on in my career because, especially on a lot of it's ticket deals. So you've got, especially when you first come through, if you're fighting a guy like a journeyman or something like that, you've got to essentially sell enough tickets to cover the cost for him. So whether he's coming from London or sometimes they bring them in from Spain or wherever else, you've got to pay whatever it costs them to get them in the country if it's from abroad.
That's fucking shocking me, bro.
Essentially pay their wages.
So you fight for nothing.
Yeah.
You sell all the tickets to your friends and family to get this ugly arse over from Spain.
So you can fight.
So you can hopefully beat him up. If not, he beats you up.
And you've done all that.
For nothing.
He's gonna,
So you essentially got to sell so many tickets before you even make a penny. And if you don't meet that target, you either...
It won't put you on the show.
Either don't get on the show or you've got to find a way to pay for it, either out your own pocket, essentially.
You see, Jake Paul rightly is putting the spotlight on the UFC because they are in a position where they could pay the fighters more. We know that. However, God, do we need an actual, like, because there's so many WBO, WB this, there's so many different bodies in boxing and there's so many different promoters. This shit needs to be sorted, like, desperately.
You would like to...
It's so corrupt.
You'd like to think that these things will come to an end, you know, and that no one would be fighting for free, and especially, you know, with someone like Lawrence who's achieved what he's achieved.
Mate, this guy was a British champion.
You know what I mean? Like,
and you're fighting for free. That is a disgrace.
Like, fair enough, some people, cool, but like when you hear stuff like that,
you're on Team GB,
you know what I mean?
representing this fucking country.
It's out of order.
The disgrace, man.
To what he's put in, and to hear that, you know, you can be fighting for free, it's like, nah, that there needs to be a rule in place that's like a minimum. This is what you'll get, because this is the law of this sport.
So basically, what the promoters are doing, or the people with the money, is they're giving you all the risk.
Essentially giving you the ownership of making the show work, essentially. You make sure you sell the tickets, but really, in my eyes...
It should be them.
It's the promoter's job to sell the tickets. You're the entertainment. You're the one fighting, training.
It's like, remind me what your job is.
They've got you doing all the roles.
Because I don't remember Don King to tell Mike Tyson, you're paying everything, by the way, out of your... I mean, I get it. Like, ultimately, it does come out the Fighters' Cup, but the fact that you had to fight for nothing shows this terrible state that this country's boxing can be in.
It is, and you know what? Like, the umbrella that certain promoters have, how many fighters that they have, they won't be able to pay for the ones that are top of their roster if they were trying to be fair. So it's like they take any fighter you can take. Oh, you want to sign with me? Oh, you can sign with me. Cool, that's fine. But I'm not going to pay you because, for example, I have to pay AJ. So for him to get that, you're going to get nothing.
This is just a warning.